Do you feel confused when it comes to the whole prep hockey system, especially when it comes to the CSSHL, knowing what that really means, what teams actually play for it, and all the information pertaining to it? I did too, so we definitely dove into the research to find out more. So keep watching so you know all the specific info about the CSSHL. What's going on, guys? For those of you who are new here, my name is 𝗵𝗂𝗶𝗴 and I'm the CEO and founder of Advancement Hockey Advising. Thanks so much for watching here. And today we're going to be talking about the CSSHL, really do a deep dive on it here so you better understand what this league is and how you can kind of go about navigating this entire organization here so you can make the best decisions in your hockey career moving forward. This video here is going to be divided into three main parts. The first one being some background info that we're going to give about this entire organization that is called the CSSHL. The second one here is going to be some notable stats like player advancements to the NHL, to the major junior leagues, all that kind of stuff. And then the third part here is going to be costs. You know, what costs are you expected to pay when it comes to teams that are in the CSSHL, and you know how it varies program by program. So that's going to be the overall framework of the video here. Now, before I give you the information and stats that you are all here looking for, I have to mention our video sponsor, which is the like button. The like button is totally free and really helps other people get this kind of content. So definitely make sure you press it very, very gently and hit that subscribe button and notification bell too. All jokes aside, guys, let's dive into the data right now. All right, so let's start with some background info. So what is the CSSHL? Why did they start it? So it was founded back in 2009, both for male hockey and female hockey. And the whole point behind this organization here is to have an accreditation system where you can say, yes, this is a prep program under the CSSHL, basically. That was the whole idea behind it. So for programs to be in this organization, they had to have certain things in place, right? They had to have a certain hockey program that met the minimum requirement of standards. They had to have places of residence for the students and the student athletes. They had to have certain measures in place academically. Certain things had to be met with certain standards as well. So they all had a set of standards in different fields and different aspects. And the whole point of it was to accredit, yes, this is a program, part of our organization, which means for the program, it would make it more attractive for players and parents to go because it would make it more legit in a way. That was the whole point of starting this whole organization. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but the CSSHL includes most programs, yes, in Canada, but there's a few states in the US that also have CSSHL programs, which are Idaho and Washington. So even I didn't know this before I dove into the data here. So it was a cool fun fact to learn. But yes, the states has a few programs that have CSSHL affiliated programs, but most of them are located in Canada. As for how the organizational body is structured, well, it's pretty gigantic, to be honest. And there's an East Division and a West Division. There's like different regions within these divisions. They play each other. And then when it comes to the championship, the East Division, basically the top two teams play each other there. And then the West Division, the top two teams play each other there. Surprisingly, the East Division does not ever play against the West Division, apart from different travel tournaments and stuff. But when it comes to the championship games, they do not play each other. Now, in terms of the structure of the hockey, of the school, all that stuff, it depends by the program, but to meet those minimum standards that we talked about a while ago, the program needs to, play pretty much almost every day. When it comes to hockey, certain things academically have to be in place. And typically the schedule is really structured around a student athlete getting the optimal exposure, getting the optimal development. The school really has to have some good structure, good itinerary in place for the athlete to succeed. Fun fact here, the CSSHL is officially partnered with the WHL. For whatever reason, not the OHL or QMJHL, probably because prep is a little bit bigger into the west side of Canada, although Ontario is really starting to come about. But they have an official partnership here. Nobody knows why specifically, but like I mentioned, maybe because there's a bit more push to prep in the West, but also because there's probably the top prep programs in the West as well within the CSSHL bodies. So maybe it makes sense that way. A lot of players from the CSSHL advance to Tier 2 junior and to major junior as well. So maybe that's a reason why it's officially partnered. Who knows really? Only the CSSHL and WHL commissioners probably know this, but overall they do have a partnership. It's a fun fact to mention here. And last big thing I want to mention about the CSSHL is it is partnered with Hockey Canada. So when it comes to attending a school and playing for a hockey program, they're affiliated in the same program, right? It's not like when you're playing AAA where you go play AAA with your travel team and then you go to high school where they're not affiliated. The hockey program and the school need to be affiliated and they need to be one. You cannot play for multiple different CSSHL programs. It has to be one program that you play for each year. So let's dive into the stats, which are actually pretty impressive when you think about it. So when it comes to the NHL, 41 players that played in the CSSHL are currently playing in the NHL right now, which is actually kind of crazy to think about. Connor Bedard being the most noteworthy. And furthermore, there's 127 players that got drafted to the NHL that have played in the CSSHL in the past. When it comes to Major Junior or the CHL, there are 715 players that have played in Major Junior that have come from the CSSHL. And when you look at Junior A, at least Tier 2 level and up, 1,833 players have played in the CSSHL that have moved on to the Junior A Tier 2 or higher level. Now there's a lot of teams in this organization like I mentioned earlier, but let's mention the top 3 programs in terms of the West Division and the East Division. It's not the greatest list with a bunch of data, but those are the top 3 that we could kind of think of that we've heard about over the years and that we've analyzed in past videos. Now, if we look at the West to start, number 1, we have the Northern Alberta Extreme. Number 2, we have Edge School. And number 3, we have Burnaby Winter Club Academy. This is in no particular order. They're just the top 3 programs that have been mentioned to us in the past. Now, if we look at the East, we have Bishop's College School. We also have Ontario Hockey Academy. And we have Okanagan Hockey Academy. Again, in no particular order here. Now, a quick note that I want to mention here. The CSSHL, although encompasses a lot of prep programs in Canada and a lot of high school programs that are quite good, it's not all encompassing of all the prep programs. There's other independent leagues that also have really strong teams. For example, the MPHL that has St. Andrew's College, and then there's other teams like Stansted that are also quite strong, right? There's a lot of really strong prep programs that aren't in this encompassing body, but the CSSHL does have quite a few strong teams within its whole organization. If you want a more detailed breakdown in terms of which prep hockey teams are truly the top ones and truly best backed by a lot of data, definitely check out this video up here that's going to give you this nice detailed breakdown. All right, last topic we need to talk about here is costs, and I know the parents are going to be loving this section here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jeez.
Players typically don't care too much about it, but the parents, I know they love it a lot. So when it comes to cost, honestly, I'm giving you the easy answer here, the cop-out answer. Depends by the school, and honestly, the best resource is to go on the school's website and to see what their actual price is. Most prep schools, most high school programs associated with the CSSHL or other leagues will tell you the rough cost. And they'll even give you a breakdown of the cost before scholarships and the cost after scholarships, okay? And that brings me to my next point, is much like NCAA hockey, CSSHL programs and other prep programs as well give a lot of scholarship, okay? It depends program by program, but they typically give a lot based on academics, based on financial situations, you know, where you're at financially as parents, also based on how bad they want the player. If a school really wants a player really badly, typically they will find a way to give a lot of money away to that player. So that definitely gives an idea as to where the finances stand at that point, but it goes school by school, right? Rough estimate altogether, typically when it comes to CSSHL, high school, prep programs, whatever it is, the cost varies between 20 to 25,000 Canadian or USD, depending on where you are, but around that mark Canadian, depending on the program and after scholarships. So before scholarships, it's usually way higher, but afterwards typically comes down to that mark. It could be lower, higher, depending on all these factors that I just mentioned. That being said, I know that you guys love examples, so we have an example on the screen here of Edge School outlining their rough costs on their website. Also, we have an example of CIH in Rockland here outlining their rough costs on their website too. So hopefully these screen shares give you an idea as to, you know, what it looks like on the website, how much these schools charge, but basically that's the price points that you're looking at. But again, like the point I just mentioned, typically the rough estimate is 20 to 25,000 per year, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. My friends, that is the CSSHL video in a nutshell. If you want to keep watching, definitely click here or click here to keep seeing some great content. Love that you guys came. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on that next one.